is Antony Jimenez. I come from the city of Medellin, Colombia. Big city, 3.5 million people, like compared to Cedar Rapids, that's like 180,000. Let's see this. So, boop, boop, boop. There it is. So my project is called A Home Away from Home. It's me looking for the similarities between what I used to see back in my city compared to what's here in Cedar Rapids. And even though that America has been an awesome and different experience, something that I noticed is that, well, this is America, like this is the land of the dreams, and there's still homeless people. There's quite a homeless population, and in Medellin as well. Here you can see the numbers. For a survey that they made in 2021, the population in Medellin that was in a homeless situation was 6,300 people and growing. And for a survey they did here in 2019, in Cedar Rapids it was like 260 and growing. So it's more of a, like it's a more easily working number, 260 compared to 6,000. But there's still, if you compare the size of the US, we can see it like all over the country. For us in Medellin, the homeless population presents a big social problem because it comes along with robbery and like mugging, stabbing, drug addiction, prostitution. There's actually a term we call narco prostitutes. That's people that's dependent on drugs that they must like prostitute themselves so they can buy more. So I wonder like what was the cause here? And while developing the project, well, we'll talk about in a little bit. So we know winter is no fun. Even like for us that we have a home, we have heating, we have food. So we think about these people that have no home, barely any food, and barely any clothes. It's not gonna be easy. So what I wanted to do was help a little bit. So I collected some clothes, and in total were like 6 packs of clothes. This was part of the collection process. That's collection and separation process. Most of them were jackets, hoodies, pants, you know, whatever. Layer up, as you say here, layer up to survive through winter. And donating them to homeless shelters. The 2 homeless shelters that, this is more part of the selection process. The 2 homeless shelters that participated in this were Willie's Daddies and Olive Mission. Olive Mission focuses more on international like immigrants as well, but my focus was more in the homeless population. Here it is. So some snapshots of me delivering. So a difficult part of the process, well, first is because I'm shy. So it's not easy to advertise, like to go around, hey, can you give me some clothes? So it wasn't easy. I had to get out of my comfort zone and just like ask, which is something I tend not to do, like ask for help. But the second one was logistics. So bringing the bags to the shelters. My first option was like Uber. I said, well, that's gonna be quite expensive. And because we were on a tight budget, I thought like there must be an easier way. So the second chance was bus, but the bus will take me to bring just 1 bag per trip, and like 1 trip will take like 2 hours going, 2 hours coming, so it wouldn't be very efficient. I delivered the first 2 bags in a couple of days in the bus, and I said, nah, this is not going to work. So the last option was a truck, a pickup. I have a friend, he's from Veritas Church, his name is Kyler, and he's got a pickup truck. I told him like, man, I need your help. So very willingly, he helped me. We packed some bags in the truck, and we delivered the rest of them to both shelters in the last days. Things said, I don't know, the little video, if we could play it without audio, maybe. It's just a little video of me delivering some clothes. And he's not listening. Yeah, we could play it without it. Yeah, thank you. I'll just talk over it. Yeah, just. shelter. So I asked a couple of people to bring me some feedback, more of why do America, like the land of the freedom, does have a homeless population? Because in Medellin we have like poverty, lack of incomes, teenagers that don't know what to do with their life, and then they get into drugs and they just lose their path. But some of the feedback I received was like, first, economic difficulties. People just goes bankrupt and sometimes they don't have a lot of help. But also because government offers a lot of help as well for these shelters, like food and housing. Just in Buenos Aires, they had like 25 rooms for people to stay in the night, and they have like overflow shelter where they can spend the night as well when they are full. People just tend to like, well, I have free food, free housing, I have nothing else to do in my life, I'll just stay here. So people tend to get in that comfort zone and just stay on that life. Which I don't know, for me it's interesting because I don't know, I want to make a lot of money in my life, so like staying there, it won't be for me. So it's something that I'm still thinking about. Why does it happen, and how can I help like merge those two things to help this problem in Medellin? Again, it's more than 6,000 people, and of 3 shelters that I know that exist in Medellin, 2 of them were closed during the pandemic, and 1 of them runs like halfway. I know there's a foundation where I used to work, Casa Close Foundation. They help the homeless population. They bring them food, they give them shelter, and as the Woodies shelter does here, help them look for a job, get them their IDs back, and puts them again in society. So they relocate them. So I think that's a great mission. That's a great way to handle it, and I hopefully can bring that back to Medellin. But also got me thinking that it's something that it occurs around the world, like everywhere. We can see this. We can see like in most touristic areas, people beg for money, which tends to slow down tourism because you don't like that, right? If you go there to visit the beaches and have fun, you don't like people like begging for your money, begging for food. So it is a problem that we as society have to deal with, but also like we give the chances to create it. What else? So yeah, once I go back home, it won't be part of the landscape anymore because like in Medellin, I just used to live with it. I didn't pay any attention to it. Like whenever I got the bus to go home, they were just there for hundreds. And you just get used to living with them. But now that I'm here, I know that it happens in every country, and it's a problem. I have like that the need of solving it. I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you for your attention.